Hey guys, welcome to the shop. So, as you can see from the title of the video, this is a custom gun, but it's not a high dollar custom gun. The whole idea with this was actually one of my friends who's coming with me to the Pelham Sportsman Show. I don't know if this will be live before or after the show. Depends on the upload schedule, but this is a Howa 1500 I got from Brownells on sale, and I like the Howas for two reasons. I think they're a good action and they're cheap. Now, they're not a controlled feed action, they're a push feed action, but they address almost everything I hate about the Remington 700. They're a flat bottom receiver, it makes it easier to put in a wood stock. They have a permanently affixed recoil lug. They have kind of the M16 Seiko style extractor. The bolt's really easy to take down, and they have a 3-position safety from the factory. That was fire, or that was safe, but you can open the bolt, and then there's fire. I really like the hacked Howa action trigger, or whatever they call it. They're honestly pretty good from the factory. They all break around 4 pounds. I don't really feel the need to go lighter on a hunting rifle like this, because when you're wearing gloves, it's really easy to have an accidental discharge before you're completely on target. And this rifle no longer has the factory barrel. I browned it on purpose because for someone who doesn't really know what they're looking at and isn't familiar with the Howa lineup, I wanted it to be obvious that this is not a stock gun. Now, Howa on their long and standard short actions, I think they're all 22 to 24 inch barrels. This is a 19.5-inch barrel, so it's noticeably shorter, and it's a different profile than factory, and I didn't thread it because I don't know anyone who's running a 35 caliber rifle can. So there's really no point on that, and I wouldn't put a brake on this either. The recoil on it is pretty moderate. It's not, well, it's significantly more than the 30-06, I'll put it to you that way, but it's not horrible. I don't think it needs a brake when you're looking at it from a hunting rifle that you're not shooting more than 20 rounds in one sitting. And it's a 35 Whelen, so this is a really budget custom gun. Now, at today's prices, if you bought everything on sale, you can get an action for basically $475 out the door. You can, if you want a custom stock, you can get a custom stock, or you can buy one of these as a complete rifle from Brownells. I think they're about $650 once you pay for transfer fees and shipping. And you can get a barrel on it from me. I mean, at today's prices, to do this barrel again, I mean, it blued or brown, I don't really care. It's going to be the same amount of work for me. You're really looking at about a $1,750 custom gun. That's really very inexpensive, and you can get any caliber you want. And I don't see any 35 Whelens in store ever, but I think they're fun, and I really think they're a very, 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 very good hunting caliber when we look at New England. Sticking with the Hogue stock, as cheap as they look, they're actually pretty good. I think they're plenty durable, and I don't see accuracy issues caused by them. Usually it's operator induced. I mean, they're not stiff enough to really, so you can use a bipod on them effectively, but they have a really generous free float on them. I really like them, and you don't get any wood movement issues like you do with a wooden stock. And I think that that's one of the things where I like wooden stocks. I prefer them on my rifles for really just cosmetic reasons, and I think they feel nicer. One thing I have heard from guys who exclusively stock hunting is that the synthetic stocks make more noise when you brush them on branches. I can't really speak to that because I don't hear terribly well, and I make a lot of noise crashing through the woods regardless. But I think for most hunters, this is a very, very, very pragmatic choice. For you get some of the advantages of a custom gun, which is a very high quality barrel in whatever caliber you want. So you are going to be a little bit more accurate than factory. How much more accurate, it depends. I don't really know any 35 caliber match grade bullets. I mean, the spears are typically very accurate, but factory ammunition in this caliber is really geared towards killing big game, and it is not geared towards target accuracy. There are no 35 caliber match bullets that I'm aware of. So bullet selection and ammunition selection is going to hold this gun back significantly. But I really thought about this at my friend Phil's suggestion, and I went, basically, how simple and stripped down can I make a rifle without compromising any functionality and maximizing its effectiveness for hunting in New England, planning on sub 100-yard shots and long walks in the woods. And that's what I came up with. So I took the 2.5 to 8 off of my Mauser. I'm going to put a Redfield 3x9 on there. I really do think the 3x9 looks more at place on there, at least the Redfield, just because of the kind of the stock design on that gun. So that's actually a win. And I went with a 19.5-inch barrel. The 19.5 just happens to be as short as I can go with the tenon length on this without having to cut the chamber while it's in the headstock and then take it out and thread it and then cut the chamber. It's doing things this way. This is just the I could do everything in just 2 setups: cut the crown, cut the chamber, and I think it turned out really well. Its initial impressions are it's very accurate for, again, a 35 caliber gun. I'm beyond pleased with how it turned out because it turned into a fairly pleasant gun to shoot considering the muzzle energy, and it handles really well. It's not something that, looking at this gun, it looks like absolutely nothing. You have to pick it up and hold it, and that's why I'm bringing it to the show. I'd really like to emphasize, as much as this channel can get hyper focused on certain things, and that's really just my area of interest. What shows up on this channel is really not necessarily representative of what actually happens in my shop. What shows up on this channel is stuff that's representative of things that I find interesting that happen in this shop. So you are seeing a little bit of selection bias. Now, this guy here is, I've only done a couple of rifles with this where it's just like, don't touch anything but the barrel. And I kind of like them the more I do them because they become purpose-built hunting rifles. Now, you can get semi-custom synthetic stocks, but I wanted to look at this as, how do I get a custom gun in the price range of factory rifles? Now, real world, when you do something like this, you're actually in the price range of a Tikka, and you're not married to any calibers that are available commonly. Now, one of the hot ticket calibers I'm hearing about is 280 Remington Ackley Improved, and I think that's a pretty neat one. I just don't see factory guns in it, other than I think it's the Kimber 8400, and I just like, I really like this idea. I think it's really resonated with me because there are a lot of $1,800 and $1,900 hunting rifles that aren't any better at actually being hunting rifles than this setup here. And really, other than the kind of over-molded, cheap-feeling stock, there's absolutely nothing on this gun I would consider changing. And I think even at the stock, if this winds up staying in my personal collection, I'm not changing the stock on it in the foreseeable future, because I don't benefit from it from a utilitarian perspective in changing the stock. Everything on this rifle here is, again, purpose-built, excellent hunting gun, very durable, sufficiently accurate. I'm not going to call it match-grade accuracy, but you get fantastic ballistic performance on large game. I think that the 35 Whelen is everything people claim the 35 Remington to be, and just the muzzle energy on it's astounding. I mean, you really get a lot more out of that 30-06 powder column than you would with a 30 caliber bullet, because you have more volume for it to burn in, and it just works really, really, really well. Every single person I know who's owned a 35 Whelen rifle will never sell it. They seem to only transfer upon someone's death. It's a caliber, once you have it and you shoot it a little bit, you understand it and really fall in love with it. And I'm hoping this is a hit at the Sportsman Show. I don't know if it will be. I don't know if this is really going to resonate with anyone, but it certainly resonated with me, and I think some of my, my one customer so far who's seen it, it really resonates with. It wasn't the kind of thing he would expect out of this shop, but I think once I explained it to him, it really made sense to him. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I really hope to see you all at the Sportsman Show on May 3rd.